Oh my gosh. So I'm sitting here waiting for things to happen, and I read this message, this comment from Albert, who says, just in case, I have on my walking sandals and an appetite. Never know what happens with Paco. Well, I'm going to tell you something, Albert. I never know what happens with me either. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another broadcast of Coffee and Headlines. This is our morning live broadcast here on Facebook and available later on in the day to our friends on YouTube, where we take a look at headlines from our city, our state, and our country, and we combine them with good news and information that can help us have an awesome life here in Puerto Vallarta. As a community of English-speaking locals, it is always a pleasure to get together with you, and today, on Thursday, June 24th, we have important news, interesting stories. We have news about vaccines. We have news about another dormant project that makes our little highway from Puerto Vallarta to Guadalajara seem like child's play. We have news about more cruise lines that are coming to Mexico. We have news about new internet services, and we have embarrassing news about how Mexicans are no longer allowed in qualifier World Cup soccer games. Are you even curious about why? It is embarrassing, and I am going to fill you in on that. And we're going to take a look at your comments later on, including Mark's, who says, "What is your opening theme music?" Well, we'll address that and many other questions in the second half of the broadcast. As always, if this is your first time here, please let us know that you're new. You can do that by writing the word new in your comments. We won't do any award giving. We won't do any applause. We'll simply say welcome. And or if you want to stay part of the silent majority, that's fine too, as long as you're getting something wonderful out of these broadcasts. That's all that is important. I'm loving your comments. Angelica says, what? Not in soccer? Well, hold your horses. We will get through the news, and then we'll get to the chit chat, all in due time. Let's go. Well, as always, we start with whatever news we can find about COVID-19 because it is still important. Guess what? We're still in the middle of a pandemic. And the first thing that I want to tell you is that a new shipment of COVID-19 vaccines has arrived in Mexico City yesterday morning. This time around, it is 585,000 Pfizer vaccines, bringing the total number of vaccines purchased from this pharmaceutical company to 19,903,065. No indication was provided as to where and how these vaccines would be distributed. And when I start going like this, that's when my iced coffee starts flying all over the place. So I'm going to put my hands down, like I can do that. That would be our first headline. The second one is this: Mexico's President Andrés Manuel López Obrador will meet with Jalisco Governor Enrique Alfaro and Guanajuato Governor Diego Rodriguez Vallejo to find a solution for the unfinished El Zapotillo Dam. And you're probably wondering, well, what's up with that? Well, so was I, as I didn't know anything about this particular adventure. And as I said before, if you think we have a problem with an overdue and unfinished superhighway from Guadalajara to Puerto Vallarta, this problem is peanuts compared with the dam. So I'm going to tell you the story. I went and did some research, and the quick version goes like this. It was back in 1941, when it was first contemplated to build a dam along the Verde River to collect water for the city of Guadalajara. However, it wasn't until 1995, that's still a long time ago, that a federal decree was published to build a dam that would provide water both for the state of Jalisco and also for the state of Guanajuato. The project, as all massive projects of this nature, would be executed by the federal government in coordination with the two states. Of course, the project went over budget and over schedule. What else is new? Not to mention the fact that a number of small towns filed federal complaints to stop the project because they would be drowned. You know, these are towns that would have been expected to relocate, and these are farming towns, and they said, no fucking way. No, we don't want this project. And then it was a matter of how tall the dam itself would be. As its height, the height of the dam would determine how much farmland would be lost to the project. Fast forward to today, and the project is still unfinished, well overdue, and way over budget. Our governor stated that since 2019, both the state of Jalisco and the Guanajuato are on the same page as to how the water would be distributed, but it is the federal government that has failed to provide the necessary infrastructure, ka-ching, to finish the project. Meanwhile, we're in the middle of a serious nationwide drought. So I don't know what to tell you, but I will show you where this project is located just for you to get a sense as to what we're talking about. We go to our trusty map as always. Here is Puerto Vallarta. Here is Guadalajara in the state of Jalisco. Here is the capital city of Leon for the state of Guanajuato, which is over here. And right smack in the middle, and in the middle of nowhere, is this dam called El Zapotillo. Come on. Show me. And of course, we're going to go to our satellite view just so we can get a sense as to what we can see from our dear friends in Google. And there it is. There's a ginormous curtain or dam itself. In Spanish, we call them cortina, the structure itself. And I don't see any water, obviously, because the project is unfinished. But it is yet another one of those mammoth undertakings that has yet to be resolved, and hopefully it will be resolved. So, oh, Dave, I see the puns. Okay, I'm going to resist your comments because, as always, you guys are being brilliant, and I am loving it. But first, let me tell you that more cruise lines are now announcing upcoming arrivals in Puerto Vallarta, provided that COVID-19 continues to be maintained under control. This article mentions now 8 different companies that will be offering cruises this coming season, including some that I've never heard of. There are Aida Cruises, Carnival, Costa, Cunard, Holland America, Princess, P&O, ooh, and Seabourn. Some of these I never heard before. And we don't have any specific information about domestic cruise lines operating anywhere. Not that we've ever had many of those. But remember, we have a new former penal colony in Las Islas Marias that is waiting to be explored. And the president has announced, that there's going to be cruises for us to go and explore them. But we don't know exactly how we're going to get there or what. But for the segment of the local population that benefits from the cruise ships arriving, this is good news. Let us just hope that we can continue to keep COVID-19 and our own personal behavior surrounding the pandemic in check so that this can actually happen. Let us now switch over to the weather to see what's happening these days. Carrot Weather says the world is a less crazy place without John McAfee. McAfee in it. As we know, the giant mogul of antivirus software died in a prison cell in Spain yesterday, um, awaiting extradition to the United States. I don't have the details about that. But what I know is that it is 26 degrees right now. Feels like 30. Humidity is at 98%. And we have an 11% chance of rain as of this moment. Our temperature in Fahrenheit degrees is 80 degrees. And today we can expect a rainy day, rain in the evening and overnight, with a high temperature of 30, low temperature of 24. Tomorrow, Friday, we end the week with rain in the morning, high temperature of 31 and a low temperature of 24. And Saturday, it will rain overnight. 31 is our high temperature, 24 is our low temperature, and that's what we can expect. It's probably going to be a nice and rainy weekend. This will, of course, have an impact on a couple of things that we're looking forward to doing this weekend, and we'll inform you about that in a second. Okay, now. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, Matthew. You are absolutely right. Um, Matthew says, an assholey comment, un comentario mamón. León is the city, the biggest city in Guanajuato, but it is not the capital. Guanajuato is. Thank you. Indeed, that is an assholey comment, but I will receive it with much pleasure, because when I'm wrong, I need to be told that I'm wrong. And I appreciate that, Matthew. So it is a comentario mamón, but that's okay. We can handle that. Speaking of comentario mamón, or assholey remark, let us talk about this soccer business, because it is really unfortunate that it came to this. Soccer in Mexico is a religion. And if you haven't realized that, then you have been living in the safety of your English-speaking condo. And that's okay too. But in Mexico, soccer is as big, if not bigger, than football is in the United States. And Mexicans, we tend to be very passionate about how we support our teams, and sometimes that passion overloads and goes into offensive slurs, and more specifically, homophobic slurs. There is this one chant that has been very popular for years in soccer games, which includes the word puto, which we know means faggot. And it's been quite some time since the World Cup, the World Soccer Cup, has been, finger pointing Mexico and saying, you guys need to stop doing this homophobic chant business, because it doesn't fly. So what happens? We're in the middle of the qualifying events for the upcoming World Soccer Cup, and Mexican fans showed up at a game, and Mexico team was playing, and of course, what did they do? They went, puto! And when they did that, once again, they did something that is forbidden. So, number one, the Mexican team was fined thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for not addressing this. Number two, the next two qualifying games in which Mexico is going to play will be played without an audience as a penalty. And number three, all Mexican fans are banned from qualifying soccer cup games. Now, you don't have to be a soccer fan to appreciate that if we use these kinds of homophobic slurs without thinking, they're bound to create some kind of problem here, there, and everywhere. So on the one hand, if you're a rabid soccer fan from Mexico, you're probably very, very unhappy about this. But hey, rules are there for a reason. And we talked about that to a certain length yesterday because it was timely. Moving on with other news, I want to let you know that we know that Elon Musk, or Elon, I have no idea how to pronounce his name, but we know that he's super rich and super technology abundant, and he's been deploying internet satellites to launch his Starlink satellite-based internet service. Now we learn that he has obtained license to offer his service in Mexico, competing with Telmex and other providers. It is expected that Starlink service will begin in our country on October 28th of this year. Pre-registration has been available at the website starlink.com. However, if you try to pre-register today, you are expected to pay a deposit equivalent to 99 USD, or $99, which seems a bit sneaky to me, but who knows? I've been grumbling about Telmex's internet service long enough that I might actually consider this again this morning because service has been really spotty. We are navigating thanks to our dear friends from Telcel as I got online this morning, and Telmex internet service was go and stop and go and stop, and I figured you deserve a new you deserve a good broadcast. Moving right along, it is Thursday. We start collecting things to do for this weekend, ideas of things that we might be able to do this weekend. And we had mentioned this before. We mention it again. There is the first ever Colonia Versalles Gay Pride Party celebration. It's taking place this Saturday, right outside of La Gallega. Here in Colonia Versalles. The organizers have been a little bit concerned about the weather, so I'm going to tell you what they say. Due to weather that we cannot control, in order to be able to move forward with our event, we have agreed to continue the event because we feel the huge necessity to invite people to spend time with us and to get to know our offerings. And they advertise that La Gallega is going to have a live painting demonstration, and there's going to be a raffle in which several pieces of art are going to be available. Then Café Versalles, which is across the street, will have a shopping section, so you'll be able to buy products that are, I assume, offered by different vendors from Colonia Versalles. And there's going to be a poetry reading. And then Oregano, and all these three businesses are right next to each other, is going to have a drag competition at 9:30. And the winners will be announced at 10 o'clock. So this is going to be a nice evening party that you can all attend if you want to show your support for Colonia Versalles. If you haven't been in the neighborhood, there are a lot of restaurants. There are these places where you can have some food, and there are other restaurants that you are going to be able to enjoy while you're here. Lynn says, Paco, we can see part of your private Facebook panel. And that ruffles your feathers. How? I can see it too, and I know you can see it, and it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me, but thank you for bringing it up. The last thing that I want to share with you has to do with fitness. Ooh, fitness. I came across this article in English from Huffington Post. Did your fitness level take a hit during the pandemic? Read this. So I haven't read it, but my fitness level took a hit during the pandemic. Just look at my cheeks. So I'm going to be reading this article. And if the shoe fits your bill, you can read it as well. It's going to be in the show notes as usual. Let's rewind our comments so that we can take a look at what you are all thinking about today. Lots of good mornings as always, and I very much appreciate each and every one of those. Let's see. Ba-ba-da-bim, bum, bum, bim, bam. Holiday booked for February 22, 2022. Good for you, Carolyn. I hope you have a good holiday. Mark had asked, what is your opening theme music? This is music that I purchased. This is licensed music to be able to use in broadcasts such as these. It is not a specific album or a specific artist. It is music designed for broadcasting. And I forget the company. If you're really curious about it, let me know, Mark, and I will find the source. I buy licensed music from different sources so that we can use it here at Coffee and Headlines and in other video-related projects that I produce for other clients without getting flagged for using music illegally. We don't ever want to do this. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness, Kathleen and Todd have a new puppy. Congratulations. I know that this is a challenging thing for you guys because you lost you lost your babies not too long ago, and if you're healing by bringing a puppy into your lives, I am so very happy for you. May we see some photos of your new puppy sometime in the near future. Uh, let's see what else we have. See, Karen pays attention too. New puppy, yay! This is all good. Uh, Christine had to go out and get chilaquiles yesterday, and she's on my side. We see a big divide here. The crunchy, crispy chilaquiles versus the soft, gooey ones. Well, I'm a gooey guy. So good for you, Christine. Let us know where you found gooey chilaquiles, because I'm always searching for gooey chilaquiles. Actually, I take that back, because I like my own gooey chilaquiles. I seldom think of ordering chilaquiles out and about, but I'd be very, very curious. Um, this is very interesting. The puto chant from soccer games is even more embarrassing, considering that Mexico, along with Canada and USA, is one of the Copa del Mundo hosts in 2026. Well, that is embarrassing, absolutely. Imagine that our country is the host country and we have all kinds of homophobic slurs going on. No, I certainly hope that fans will learn their lesson between now and then. Uh, this pun made me laugh a little bit ago. Over budget and not on schedule. Oh, that damn. Absolutely. Um, let's see what else we have. Michael wonders when Vidanta will be sailing the new ship, but we learn from our Mazatlan friend that is always with us. We learned from Brett Jones that the Vedanta boat is on sale, or was being sold, or something to that effect. I actually don't even know if Vedanta will be doing their cruises. They had alerted a couple of years ago that they would do these fancy Mexican Riviera cruises and so forth and so on. I just don't know that that's ever going to happen. Um, there you go. This is exactly what I was talking about. Thank you, Brett. The Vedanta ship was still moored here in Mazatlan as of a couple of weeks ago. I've heard conflicting stories about it resuming operation or being sold. I suppose we're going to have to wait and see. Uh, let's see what else. Speaking of soccer games, thank you for giving us Chicharito. We're finally winning games. Chicharito is one of the very skilled Mexican soccer game players, and I am glad that he's doing something good for somebody. This is absolutely wonderful. Um, is this new storm developing off the coast headed our way? Do we know the timing? I actually have not seen any headlines as of yet, Linda, but I will check at the end of today's broadcast. Tomorrow is Friday, so I'm sure that we will read something about it between now and then. Let's see what else. Francisco says that is part of the fun in the game. Paco, people should not feel offended. Just join the fun. Go with the wave. It's just like the wave on the games. I politely disagree with you, Francisco. I think I don't know where you are on the sexual orientation spectrum. And this is, in fact, scratch the sexual orientation spectrum. Words are powerful. And once words come out of our mouth, whether the intention is playful or not, the words are already out there. And even with the best of intentions, um, once the words are out there, you cannot stop them. And even if it's part of the fun, somewhere the words in this particular context, I'm a gay man. We know that. Hello. And I don't mind it if my friends call me puto, because coming from my friends, I know that it's coming from a place of love. If a stranger walking down the street calls me puto, that's a very different story. There's nothing fun in that, and I respectfully respect your opinion, but I respectfully I am against it, and that's just it. So we can always agree to disagree. We don't all have to see things the same way. Did Luna quit? Luna has decided to perch herself on that street, that chair, that orange chair you can barely see. She's decided that's her new headquarters. I may have to tilt the camera a little bit. She's not even there now, but she has given up on her little stool next to me, and I cannot make her show up here. I don't know. I'll have a conversation with her. It's the weather. When it's so warm, this particular stool is a little bit warm for her. Lynn says your production, including music, is the bomb. Thank you very much, Lynn. I have now been researching because we have some stories that are so absurd and ridiculous, like that story about the dam that is unfinished. I am now researching ridiculous and absurd background music because I think certain stories that we discuss here call for it. So we are looking for more background music. Thank you, Paco. We weren't ready for a puppy. It just happened. I would post a photo here, but I don't see an option. Anyone know how? I don't think there is an option, Kathleen, but if you send me the photos, I would be so very happy to share them with the community. Most importantly, we want to know that you guys are happy with the path that you're choosing. And yes, we want to see the new puppy. So just send me some photos, and I'll be so very glad to share them with the cluster. Everyone serves soft chilaquiles. Just wait half an hour, and even the crispy ones go soft and cold, Dave. So, I don't know that I want to have soft cold chilaquiles. I want to have soft, warm, on the spot chilaquiles, but that's just me. It's amazing how a puppy in need of a home finds the right people to call mom and dad. I know, absolutely. Let's see what else we have. Yes, words are hurtful. Absolutely. Even with sometimes words can have good intention. I mean, coming from the guy that sometimes complains about having pies thrown on my face, I know sometimes words have good intention, but they're still hurtful. Michael says, I enjoy watching Mexican soccer for reasons that would be obvious for people that know me. Your friends and my friends might have something in common, Michael. I don't very much care about soccer. I care about soccer legs myself. Brett has a very important point. No one would ever think of yelling the N word, so why would it be okay to yell puto? Thank you. Thank you. I cannot think of a clearer, more poignant comparison here. I mean, thank you very much, Brett. That is right on spot. Da, 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 da. Let's see what else. Brett thinks Luna joined the union. She wants benefits in a race. I wouldn't be surprised. Let's see what else. One day, can you explain the August vote by citizens on whether to investigate past presidents or not? Do citizens go to the polls for this? I don't understand this process. Your insight would be appreciated. Gladly. I can tell you without getting into details that and I don't know the logistical and legal implications of this. There are two schools of thought. There are presidents and governors. I mean, just look at what happened with the ex-governor in Nayarit, and now there's another ex-governor that is now being put in jail for this, that, and the other. There are two schools of thought. Karen, one of them says, well, whatever bad, naughty things that past presidents did, it's in the past, it's over, it's gone. Why ruffle feathers? Why rock the boat? And then there's the other school of thought, which is, well, wait a second. I mean, the deed went unpunished, but that doesn't make the deed go away. President Andrés Manuel López Obrador is very much of the idea that everybody is accountable. And because certain crimes and certain wrongdoings by presidents in the past are coming to light, some of them including things like, the death of the Ayotzinapa students and money stolen and this and that and the other, there is this notion that we should vote whether past presidents should be brought to trial for their crimes, and and that's the general gist of it. I would be so very happy to look into this and give you a more specific, more clear or clearer explanation to that effect. Thank you very much for bringing that up, Karen. I will be so very happy to get on my feet and research that in the near future. Javier Camargo is new. Bienvenido. Hola, Javier. Welcome wherever you are. I hope you have a nice beverage close to you, but not on top of your computer. Just look at how it spilled my coffee on my keyboard the other day. It was not fun. Enjoy coffee and headlines. This is what we do. Let's see. Karen says, well said, Brett. Thank you very much for that. Susie asks, do you happen to know any places in PV with assisted living? If not, where would I look? I personally don't know of any such places. And I would not know where to look. I would suggest if you go to one of the local boards on Facebook, there might be an answer. If anybody else has any comments on these, they are more than welcome. Let's see what else we have. My experience at a Chivas Americas match was that the chant was vicious, not exuberant, aimed at the opposing goalkeeper. Yes, fans get ugly and sometimes they get violent, and I'm sure that it doesn't just happen in Mexico. In this particular case, it's a homophobic chant. No matter how you paint it, yelling puto at somebody you don't even know is not a nice thing to do, in my opinion, period. Let's see what else. It's nice to know politicians and los ricos are responsible for crimes committed past or present. Absolutely. And I believe Angelica is referring to a beautiful place of assisted living in Ajijic. Of course, Ajijic is not here in Puerto Vallarta. Michael has a no-brainer, and I appreciate that. Google assisted living in Puerto Vallarta. In fact, let's do that just to see if we find something interesting. See, it's sometimes the answers to our questions are in the tip of our nose. Here we are on Google, Puerto Vallarta assisted living. Well, there are 1, 2, 3 places that show up. One is called Casa Tucari Assisted Living. The other one's called Vida Serena. The other one's called Nursing Home Vallarta. Oh, it's the same one. Vida Serena. Yes. So there's at least 2 of them. There's quite a few resources there. So I mean, sometimes it's as simple as going to Google and saying, Google, where is it? So there you have it. There are some answers for you, and that's what we do. We try to create connections so that you can find the answers to your questions. Sometimes we can find them elsewhere. Sometimes we're happy to undertake the research, not overtake the research. And this brings us, of course, to the end of our broadcast today. I hope you were enlightened. I hope you were amused. I hope you were informed and inspired. If not, come back tomorrow. Maybe you will then. Between now or tomorrow or the next time we get together, I hope you have an awesome day. And I hope you stay dry because it seems to be getting a little wet around here. And I hope you'll stay in touch. It is always a pleasure to read you, and it's always a pleasure to enjoy your company. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.